think in the constantly shifting landscape that is Instagram, there are certain features that get left behind because they don't necessarily provide the same viral potential that can come with posting a reel. But that doesn't mean that they can't massively grow your account in a way that reels actually can't. And one of those features is stories. And that's where I'm seeing a lot of people mess up. You see, stories play a huge part in supporting steady growth, creating a community around your business, and getting more engagement. And plus, they're a great place to test out new content ideas in a way that is low risk and very high reward. So the first thing you need to know is that just like Reels and Feed and every other part of Instagram, stories have their own algorithm. And just like the rest of them, this one bases its rankings off of its own set of signals, separate from Reels, Feed, or Explore. Real quick, I'm going to be saying signals a couple more times throughout this video. If you don't know what I mean by that, basically signals are just what Instagram calls the metrics that they track when it comes to ranking content and deciding who and where the content will go. So for stories, what matters pretty much boils down to the likelihood that your viewers will watch your story and engage with it, as opposed to skip through it, swipe to the next story, or close out of stories altogether. And they also have a closeness factor that they take into account, which basically means the likelihood that these two accounts are friends off of the platform. And for the closeness factor, keep that one in mind because I'm going to be circling back to that in a minute. So stories appear on the feed page at the top, but instead of scrolling down, they appear left to right. The left ones are the ones that hit all the right boxes and are ranking higher for you or your followers. And of course, the farther left you are, the more likely you are to get views and engagement because you're more likely to be seen. So to sum it up, the more engagement you get, the higher you'll rank. So how do we get there? Well, first, let's talk about what not to do. First of all, stop saying link in your bio or using the link sticker. It's never explicitly stated that it'll hurt your reach. Actually, they say that it doesn't hurt or help your reach, but my experience shows otherwise, and honestly, it kind of makes sense. Let me know in the comments if you still click the link sticker personally, but I do not. I don't like the weird in-app browser it opens. I don't like being pulled out of my scrolling experience, and from everybody I've talked to about it, they feel a very similar way. And the reason that the link sticker is killing your reach is likely not because Instagram is actively punishing you for using it, but because people are just kind of over it. The way this hurts your reach is because if the feature is kind of unanimously being used less, then when you use it, people will not interact with it. And when people don't want to interact, they're less likely to watch the rest of your story. So then this is then sending a signal to the algorithm that says, this content ain't doing too well. Maybe don't show it. Hey, real quick, sorry to interrupt the video. I just wanted to take a second to say that there are a lot of factors that go into growing an Instagram account, and I know it can feel like there's so much information that you don't know where to begin. So what we want to do is audit your page for free in a video. You don't have to be in it. Just comment your name down below with your business's handle. We're going to pick a few, and then we're going to audit those from the bio to the content and everything in between. And then in that video, what I'm going to do is give you actionable steps that you can take to improve your reach, engagement, and overall page growth. So if this is something that interests you, like I said, it's totally free. You don't have to sign up for any mailing list or anything. Just leave your business's page in the comments below. That's it. Back to the video. So what do you do then when you want to push for engagement but aren't really sure how to? Well, enter ManyChat. So right now, DM automation is the best way to promote something to your followers while boosting your engagement. If you've seen a story or even a post that said something like, reply with this word and I'll send you this, or something along those lines, that is DM automation. And the software everyone is using for this right now is ManyChat. This is for a few reasons, but I think one of the biggest ones right now is that this is a meta-verified partner. So you know that your account is safe and you won't get flagged or banned for using this, unlike other automation tools. And how you use this may look different depending on the industry that you're in, but it's something every business I think can benefit from. So for example, if you're in a clothing company, you can post a story that says 15-minute fire sale, DM us winter 23 for a secret discount code. Or if you represent a law firm, you can post a story addressing your specialty and say, experiencing this, DM us injury or something relevant to your story for a free consultation. And then set it up so that way when they DM you that keyword, you automatically send them a contact form or a consult form. But then why is this better than using the link sticker? Well, remember how I said earlier that Instagram measures the closeness of the two accounts? Well, how do you think they do that? You see, some of the signals that they look at for that are messages exchanged between the two accounts, interactions, and conversations. And what is ManyChat doing? It is creating a new conversation with your followers. So as opposed to a link sticker that turns people away from stories altogether, you're doing something that increases engagement, increases the closeness factor that you have with your followers, and is giving Instagram exactly what it wants, more engagement. And then in turn, this tells Instagram that your stories are worth putting at the beginning of the list. And now that that's out of the way, let's talk about how you can optimize your stories. I like to think of stories in a similar format that I think of Reels, because you have to format both of them for retention. So what matters in stories isn't just engagement, engagement, but it's also how people watch. Are they watching all the way through? Are they skipping a specific part of your story? Are they skipping your story altogether? Or did they see your story and decide, I'm done with that for the day, so they close it out? This is what you need to optimize for. So the first two optimizations that I think everyone can make are captions and timing. So always have text on screen if you're talking, and make sure your stories aren't too long. For example, if you're posting a picture, there's no reason that story needs to be 10 seconds long. If anything, if it's a great picture that's super interesting, you may actually get more interaction if it's shorter, because people will want to rewatch and pause your story to get a better look at it. Next, create stories with the intent of getting interaction. Use the stickers, not the link sticker, but the other ones that are available. Personally, I've seen a lot of great results from using polls, so you can post an interesting picture or a video and use that as a way to direct people to the poll. Once again, this is going to slightly change from industry to industry, but this can take a lot of forms. Just some general ideas that I think you can mold to any business would be like doing trivia, or something that I used to do for an account that I used to manage was post 2 pictures, one up top and then one on the bottom, and just say, which would you prefer, A or B? But of all of these, I think polls work the best because 1, people want to see the results and they can only see them if they vote for them, and 2, because people have opinions and they want to share them. As far as retention goes, you can also experiment with adding music and seeing what types of music keeps people engaged on your stories. And again, much like the rest of this will vary from page to page depending on your target audience and who your follower base is. But it's all about experimentation, right? So play with it and see what you can find. Now, all of this is well and good, but how do you know what's working? Well, that you can find in your analytics. There are quite a few options here, but for now, let's just focus on exited, next story, forward, shares, replies, and story interactions. These are what you want to look for because these are the types of engagement that will send signals to Instagram that say, hey, this story was entertaining, or hey, it looks like this story is getting a lot of engagement. Maybe we should send this out to other people. So go through these, see what's getting the most interaction, what's creating the most engagement between you and your followers, cut out what's not working, and double down on what is. And always, always, always be trying to find new ways to interact with your audience because, as we know, with all things social media, and especially with Instagram, what works today might not work the same tomorrow. So now that you have your stories worked out, if you want to learn how to get ahead of the rest of your competitors this year, be sure to watch this video where I break down how to stay ahead of the 99% of other small businesses on Instagram.